Good morning, Mr. Scarcelli. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Good. Another great weekend of college football coming up. We had a lot of good games to watch last weekend, and
Holy cow, three teams in the top five losing last
yeah,
week.
Oregon, Penn State. What a game that was! Oregon, in my opinion, that's the last team I would want to face if I'm a team in the Big Ten.
You know,
That
one thing that struck me was that the expression on the Oregon quarterback's face never changed. Whatever happened, that guy looks cool as a cucumber, whatever needs done.
Yeah, I've watched him. I watched the kid play in high school. Rob, he's from Detroit. I'm outside Detroit and come from a good program. Cool, calm, accurate, laser beam accurate. Everybody was trying to recruit him. He started games at UCLA. He sat behind Gabriel last year, and they've got the quarter, and he made plays. He was a big difference in that game with his feet, the ability to run. You can't coach that, and he was good, accurate, but. Dan Lanning, he knows who to get. He went and got guys. He gets the right guys. They're big, strong, tough. He got good coaches on defense, athletic. Go into Penn State, great game. But they got better players too.
Yep. What about the coaching on the other side, Jim? Franklin, the reputation for not winning the big game. I mean, he's a good coach.
I get it. He got out. Listen. It's not like he lost to a team that doesn't have players. Okay. So, all that reputation, whatever that is, he lost to a team that has really good players and is really well coached. And Dante Moore was a bigger factor athletically. He outplayed the kid from Penn State. So I don't know what the hell you want to yell at the coach for that. You got to bring in, but look, James Franklin's a good coach. I mean, I'm a Michigan guy, and Danny and Rob, I coached 25 years, man. And sometimes there's coaches that you go against, and you want them. Some guys you'd like to see them leave or get a better because they're so good.
Yep.
Okay? And then there's other guys that you coach against that you want them just good enough to keep their job. Okay, so Franklin. For some coaches, Michigan, Ohio State have had their number. I deep down, those guys are like, you know what, man? I want James Franklin there. I want him just good enough to keep his job. So
let me ask you, you can give this opinion both from a player's perspective and a coach's perspective. How much does a losing streak against a particular team start to factor into either the players or the coaching staff?
Okay, if you're talking like losing to one particular team, you just got to be a mentally tough coach, and players got to know, look, that's not you. That's some dudes from last year, 4 years ago, 5 years. You just got to keep grinding, because I've been in that situation going against teams that were state champion, traditional powers, and you go against them and you get beat 5-6 times in a row, and then eventually you crack it. And you just got to keep, it's just like anything, man. It's about mental toughness. You got to keep grinding and find a way to win, find a way to keep getting better as a program.
One of the most interesting rumors that's out there floating around is Gruden to Arkansas. I know you may not even have heard that rumor until now, but apparently there's been some discussions there amongst both parties.
Well, listen, I love John Gruden. In my opinion, I think he's a good coach, great coach. Guy's winner everywhere, and I miss him in the box, man. John Madden's not number one, but Gruden, in my opinion, was all-time number two. I love listening to John Gruden, Monday Night Football. Awesome. These other guys are stiffs compared to John Gruden, but John Gruden, great coach, smart coach. He has credibility. He would recruit good players. But bottom line is, you take a job like that, you better have money, man. You better have the money to compete with. You got the Lane train down the road. You got Alabama, Auburn. They got money, and you better have I don't know, Walmart's, I think, is a big Arkansas sponsor, but there's no question he can coach. You put the same dudes on the field across from John Gruden, he'll coach, but he's got to have money to go get guys, and he definitely has credibility and would be able to recruit. He's coaching the Super Bowl, and but again, you got to have money, man.
Yep. Hasn't coached at the college level. It'd be interesting if to see how that works, right? And I guess a nice transition. Gruden hasn't coached at the college level, and we got two coaches in a game, both needing the win this weekend. Clemson, North Carolina, right? Which of those do you think needs the win more?
Oh man, yeah, Belichick. That's disappointing. I just thought he would really, really get the right players in and have there's going to be a little adjustment to some things, and so many of the schemes are being run at the college and pro level. But there's a lot more quarterback run in the high school level. He's got to get used to all the quarterback run stuff. Pros are making $30 million a year. They're not running their quarterback like that. So he's got to get used to defending all that stuff. And then Dabo is he's just it's just like new technology, Rob. In business and anything else, you have to adapt. You have to adapt in the business world, and you have to adjust. And Dabo was behind on the transfer deal, and he's not made the adjustment. He's not, I don't know if they got money or what they got, but it's the game is in North Carolina, right? I do believe.
Yep.
Dabo's got a better quarterback. I don't think that's where I think Belichick's big mistake was. He didn't get the right quarterback. You better with the day and age of the portal, and you got money, you better have a quarterback. So, but
arguably too.
Yeah, you better have. They both need a win. Looking at having seen both teams play, and I would definitely pick Clemson. I don't know what that line is, but
yeah, it's like I think it was 14 or 11.
Yeah,
it's definitely double digits.
Yeah. It's enough where I don't even want to mess with it. Clemson is the better team. They got better players. But yeah, we'll see how long they give Bill and his girlfriend on the sideline.
Well, at least they're giving us some interesting moments to talk about that are non-football. But hey, another big game out there this week is, and I know it's not one of our picks, but Vanderbilt and Alabama. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I could personally, I wouldn't want to touch this one because I could argue Vanderbilt could win this game, and at the same time, I think Alabama could cover. If it's a close game, I think Vanderbilt's going to win, but I could easily see Alabama covering. It's not a game I'd want to bet on.
There's a lot of things going on in this game. I really, really respect both coaches. The Vandy coach is a defensive guy that's been everybody wanted him as a defensive coach, and he finally got his opportunity. I think he was a walk-on at Vandy. He came back home, and tough place to win. And he surrounded himself with great coaches. There's a guy in that staff that there's all these little things that people don't know. I look at coaches.
Right.
He's got a guy named Jerry Kill on his staff who all he's ever done is win everywhere he's been. And this tells me how smart Clark Leah is to go get Jerry Kill. And he's got other dudes on his staff that are smart guys and good coaches. So he's built a great staff. And they're a physical team. He went and got the right quarterback. Kill coached him at New Mexico. And the kid is a runner, and he's a thrower, and he's tough. And they are a well-coached, physical football team. And they use their quarterback wisely. And Alabama has got players, and Alabama's got a good coach. And
Alabama's been uneven this year. They've had some really good performances and obviously some ones that not so good.
Well, they struggled. They did not look good against Florida State. I thought they got out coached there. They couldn't stop that offense. They couldn't stop what's his name, the offensive coordinator there, that was at UCF, got fired there. What the hell is his name?
Yeah, I can't.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, they outcoached Florida State, outcoached Alabama there. The defensive coordinator for Alabama was clueless, and but they still have great players. I saw Alabama against Georgia, and I see a totally different team. I see a quarterback confident, pass game, throwing the football. The big thing is, will Alabama line up and defend Vandy? Because Vandy beat them last year. It wasn't just – I watched that game, and it wasn't just that Alabama was not ready to play and go play a Vandy who's not even Vandy.
Right.
I guarantee you, Alabama going to play Vandy. Those players were like, let's get this game over with. Let's get on to whoever the hell we got next week, Tennessee, whatever. So the mindset was probably weak, but that's a poor excuse. They did not adjust and defend schematically what Vandy was doing. So the defensive people at Alabama are going to totally redo what they did. They will be ready for what Vandy does. So this is why I'm not betting on this game, because
right.
Alabama will be totally mentally locked into this football game. Okay, last year it was half-ass preparation. They did not have a good scheme defensively, and Vandy ran their quarterback. They had great scheme. The guy's a damn good coach. But the question will be, and I do believe Alabama will be smarter this time. They will adjust to a lot of the stuff they do. And they're going to get their best. They're going to get Vanderbilt's best shot, but Vandy's going to get Alabama's best shot playing at Alabama. The crowd will be ready and help support Alabama. But that's the big question. The big question for me is Alabama's defense against Vandy's offense. Some of the unique stuff Vandy does, their ability and they will run the quarterback. They're not afraid to.
Right.
So the line is pretty good. Alabama has better players, but Vandy's really well coached.
Yep.
Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at on that game. I respect what the guy's done at Vandy. He's really built a program. I don't know that they have a ton of money, but
another game this week is Miami, Florida State. Again, it's not going to be one of the games that we pick. I think last week Virginia, maybe exposed a little bit of weaknesses on Florida State's defense. Miami's strong, up front. Can Florida State handle those lines for Miami? Yeah,
Virginia is, they had to go on the road. Virginia's not a terrible team. The guy's done a pretty decent job. He brought some good players in. He had a good quarterback. Florida State's defense gave up too many points. They're scoring. Gus Malzahn is his name. Gus.
Yep.
He's the offensive coordinator. Gus is scoring points for Florida State. He's the one that outcoached the Alabama coach a couple weeks back. I don't know. If someone pushed me, I would take the 4.5, Rob. I would take the 4.5 at home. I think I got a lot of respect for Gus. They're going to be at home. There'll be a crowd. It's a rival game. I know Miami's good, and Miami is good, but that game could go either way. And if you're going to give me 4.5 at home, I'm not picking it, but if someone did push me, I would probably go with the points.
Yep. All right, Jim, what do you say we get into our featured picks this week?
Yeah, I've watched San Jose State play. I saw them early in the year against Central Michigan, and I've seen New Mexico play a couple times. And I really like the New Mexico coach. I like their quarterback. I saw him play at Michigan and compete with Michigan. The guy's good. He's physical. They're smart on defense, and he's got a quarterback. And they're smart how they use him. I saw him go into UCLA and beat UCLA, who's poorly coached. Got that guy fired. San Jose State is coached by the old Navy coach, but I'm taking the 2.5. I'm taking New Mexico with 2.5.
Yep.
I'm betting with the New Mexico coach, and the New Mexico quarterback is better than the San Jose State kid. And New Mexico will play defense, Home field will be not much of an issue there, not much noise there. Travel.
Yeah, and San Jose's got some injuries at running back. They're thin there. Their special teams and kicking game is atrocious. I think the kicker's 4 for 10 so far this year.
Yeah, I think that was an issue in that Central. I watched them against Central Michigan early in the year. But I really, I'm betting on the coach, the team, the quarterback at New Mexico. Those are the things that I think are plus for New Mexico. And home field is not much of an issue for San Jose State.
Yeah, and I personally like the under in this game. I think this is one, I think you said a couple weeks ago, you like to see where the bookies made a mistake or the odds setters made a mistake. And this line is going to drift down. I think I probably be 57.5 or less at kickoff
You know what,
time.
Rob, when I think about that, I think you're looking pretty good with that under two, because both these guys play decent defense. San Jose's not scoring a lot of points.
And New Mexico's offense is average at best. And you add in San Jose, the fact that the guy can't make a field goal.
Yeah.
All those things I think weigh in favor.
Well, the New Mexico coach, he played for Barry Alvarez. He's got Wisconsin roots, and those guys they don't ever underestimate that, Rob. They want to grind the football. They want to run the football. They're going to run clock. So that bet makes a lot of sense. Also, is the under in that game.
Yeah, and San Jose State has been racking up a lot of yards this year. They are a pass-heavy offense, and given the thinness they have at running back, but they just can't seem to translate those yards into points. And you were a player, you're a coach. You get down in that red zone, and if you're so relying on the passing, it's a heck of a lot harder to put it in the end zone, isn't it?
Yeah. That's where you got to have a run game.
Yep. So on this one, we like the under 58.5. Probably see that line move a little bit towards kickoff, and the New Mexico State getting the 2.5. Right.
That's right. Yeah. So we've got two picks on that game.
Yep. And the next game we have, we love the Service Academy games, don't we, Jim?
Well, it depends. Yeah, it depends who they're playing. Depends who they're playing and who's playing.
And the pick here is under 51.5. Why do you think that's a good play this week, Jim?
These guys know each other's offense. They run the same stuff. They're good at defending each other's stuff. And in most cases, it plays out. It's a low-scoring, grinded-out game. But you'll have times these guys they understand that they can't just run their vanilla run game offense against each other. So they will open it up and do things they haven't done. Pass game, spread it out, do things that they know they can, because it's so hard to run the ball against your brother.
Yep.
So that's the only fear. And that's happened to me at times betting unders on these academy games. But I don't think Air Force has got much. They don't have the quarterbacks they've had in the past. Air Force is going to have a rough time scoring, in my opinion. Navy's got the quarterback back. They've got a good team back. They're both these teams are they're good, pretty good on defense. They don't have the greatest players, Rob. They win with scheme and
and that's one where I think Air Force, their defense is young this year, right? And they've been susceptible to big plays. I think with Navy's offense, that's less of a risk than it is against some of the other teams.
You make a point about susceptible to big plays, but the problem is Navy is not a spread offense that's going to do the things that some of those other guys did against Air Force.
Exactly.
They don't have the kind of talent. They don't run the kind of offense that's going to, spread out the field and put some fast athletes out there. So
right.
Those things aren't a fear factor for these defenses when they play each other. So
exactly. And that's why I think the under is
I think it's a real good play.
Real good play on this one. All right. And then our next pick And by the way, Jim, our 11-4 record is on the line this week with five picks. So far we've been knocking it out of the park. Illinois, Purdue.
Yeah, I just think that I respect both coaches. I played at both of those stadiums, and I think Barry Odom is a good coach. He's getting 9.5 at home. They covered for us a couple weeks back against USC, getting 20 some or whatever that was. But Purdue has a decent quarterback. Illinois, big win at home against USC. But Bielema will have him ready to go again. You know, he's a good coach. I should have bet him last week because I just respect him, and he's not no soft dude that, you know, because he got beat up by Indiana, he's going to come back soft. That's what a lot of people thought.
Yep.
But I respect both coaches. They both got a quarterback, but Purdue, I just think they're gonna cover. I believe I'm betting on the coach and the quarterback and the home field, and it matters at Purdue. They'll have people there. I think it's a lot of fun.
And I think Purdue's defensive line doesn't get the credit they deserve, and I think, you know, this comes down to the ability of Purdue's line to turn Illinois into a one-dimensional offense, and if they do that, the 9.5, I think, looks extremely solid on that.
Yeah, I see decent players on Purdue. I don't see a huge difference in talent on these two football teams. A little bit, but that's a lot of points playing on the road. You know, it's not like Illinois is just lining up with you know, superior talent at so many positions. So taking the point.
And, you know, I guess the other question is which Illinois team shows up, right? They really struggled against Indiana. They did rebound last week, but, you know.
Well, it's not that they weren't it's not that they weren't fired up and mentally ready to, but you could just see they don't have the greatest players. Bielema does a good job. He has good players, but Indiana's good, man. And then they started steamrolling, and then the wheels just fell off. But Indiana's a damn good football team.
Right, but that goes to my point. If you can turn Illinois into a one-dimensional offense, you know, they strive for balance, and if you turn them into a one-dimensional offense, you know, holding them under 20 points is not far-fetched for Purdue. Yeah. So we got Purdue and taking the 9.5 on that one.
Yeah.
And the last pick that we have is Michigan State it says LSU Ole Miss, but it's Michigan State, Nebraska.
Yeah, these are teams I've watched play a lot this year. I respect both coaches. I always start with the coach, Rob. I always start with the coach when I start my analysis. You know, what do I think of the coach? Then I go to the quarterbacks, and I think Raiola is a good quarterback. He's an accurate quarterback, but he doesn't do much with his feet. I think the kid at Michigan State is he's been playing now 3 years, started a lot of games. He's an athletic kid. He's a freak athlete. He does a lot with his feet. He will make some mental mistakes, but he hasn't done it this year yet. For Michigan State in the past, there'd always be a dumb pick, a dumb turnover, but they've tightened things up with them. Michigan State's issue is they don't have the greatest players on defense. He has to transfer portal better on defense, and he hasn't done that. They're well coached over there, but they don't have the greatest players. But they will score points. They win. Yeah,
I think you're 100%. You know, Michigan exposed a little problems in Nebraska's run game, right? And I think Michigan State, Frazier, they're more apt to have a little, I think, more willingness to run him, right? Which is going to just exasperate Nebraska's run defense problems.
Yeah, but I think Michigan State runs that outside zone. They run their quarterback. They've got enough of a pass game. I think Michigan State will score points. Michigan State will score. They're going to score 20, 28, 31 points there. Okay. Nebraska will score points. Nebraska will score, but is Nebraska going to score 42? Because I think Michigan State is very capable of scoring, when I really look at it, between, 27, 31 points. And I don't see Nebraska putting 40 on them.
Yeah, and I think Nebraska's going to have to stop Michigan State's run game.
Yeah, and Michigan State they do a good job with they put you in conflict with the outside zone. They run that outside zone as good as anybody, and they've
and Childs is dual threat quarterback. He can run. And
they're not afraid to run them. They'll run predetermined quarterback runs. They don't want to do a ton of it because they don't want to get the kid hurt. He's so valuable to their team, but he's gotten better as a passer. They've really elevated their receiver room. Listen, Nebraska's tough place to play. So Michigan State's got to go on the road again. It's a loud, nasty place, but I don't know that Nebraska has the best players on defense. So, yeah, that's the pick that I'm betting with. Michigan State will score points. They will give up points, but that's a lot. 11.5. I'll take the 11.5 because I don't think Nebraska will. They're going to have to. They're going to need 44-30 type thing for us to lose, and Nebraska ain't putting that kind of numbers on defense.
Yeah, and Michigan State's going to shorten the game by trying to have use the run game to eat the clock down and minimize the number of possessions they have. So let's go through these again real quick, Jim. So we have New Mexico. We have 2 on this one. We have the under 58.5 and New Mexico plus 2.5.
Yes.
Air Force and Navy under 51.5.
That's my number one pick of the week right there.
Well, you read my mind. I was going to ask you that. And my number one pick is the New Mexico San Jose on the under at 58.5. Then we have Illinois Purdue. We're taking Purdue plus 9.5. And then we have we're taking Michigan State getting 11.5 against Nebraska.
Those are winners.
I think so. And if the track record holds up, you can count on it. So before we go, Jim, just any thoughts on the Michigan-Wisconsin game?
Well, big thing for Michigan is which quarterback are we going to see? Because, Wisconsin brought in a kid from Maryland, this Edwards kid who was a good player. He's been around, but he got hurt, I think, in the second game of the year. So Wisconsin with Edwards is a whole different football team. But because the backup kid, there was a huge disparity in the talent of the kid that played and lost to Maryland 2 weeks ago. So I believe Michigan's going to see Edwards because he tried to play against Maryland. He ran a couple plays and couldn't do it. And they brought the other kid in, and they could not move the ball. Wisconsin gave that game away in the special team. The kick game was terrible. Quarterback play was not very good. Wisconsin will play defense. They're damn good on defense. Fickle's good on defense. They're not going to make it easy for Michigan to run. They're not going to be able to just hand the ball off and run the football. Underwood's going to have to make plays. I would say probably be a low-scoring game, but they got the line real low, which is smart. And but a lot of it depends. It's the kind of game you want to wait till you bet live and get a feel for if who's playing quarterback for Wisconsin. And but Michigan should be okay there at home. They've got a little momentum now. They had a week off. They just beat Nebraska. Michigan's schedule is setting up good for them. Get a fifth game with the new quarterback if they can beat Wisconsin at home. And now they have 5 games with all these young guys, young quarterbacks. So now the biggest game, one of the biggest games, is going to be SC the following week on the road. A game that I think will be every bit as tough for them as beating Ohio State at the end of the year, I think.
Have you been impressed with the young guys playing in Michigan secondary?
I met their secondary plays a lot of guys. I met the defensive back coach, really good coach. He believes in playing a lot of players. They rotate a lot of players, and I'm happy with the talent. And You know, haven't given up big plays. They tackle well. They play real hard because you're playing a lot of guys. He believes in playing a lot of bodies, and you know, I think their defense is they've been good enough. They're going to keep getting better, playing a lot of guys, and when you play a lot of bodies, there's a downside early in the year to that because you're playing so many bodies, trying to develop depth. Later in the year, it really helps you when guys get injured. You've got guys that have played. So
awesome. What's your expectation in that game?
Oh man, again, I wouldn't bet it because I have uncertainty about quarterback. So I don't like betting games where I don't know what the hell's going on at certain positions. And my expectations are that Michigan will have a rough time scoring. I doubt Michigan goes over 28. I don't think they're going to go over 28 points, and they'll probably only give up about 10.
Gotcha.
So I think it's going to be because Luke Fickell, I respect as a defensive coach. He's built Cincinnati. He's a damn good coach. He's got Tressel, one of the Tressel nephews, whatever the hell he is. Those guys got D'Antonio roots. They play good defense. They've got good players. They're going to make you throw it. He's not going to make it easy for Michigan. So.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. And again, like you said, if there's uncertainty in the information you get, it's a game to stay away from in terms of wagering, right?
Yeah, you're just risking. And you can bet live now. Wait for the game to start and watch a couple series and then reevaluate things.
Absolutely. Jim, I appreciate it. Hope you have a great weekend. I hope everybody does, and can't wait to watch some football this weekend.
All right, let's crack the bookie, baby.
All right, let's keep it rolling.